There's a house called the Hell House in Turlock.
Our
Okay?
house?
Yeah. Upstairs, where the only piece of furniture was a heavy wrought bed that appeared to be bloodstained on the mattress.
Wow.
The legend says that a woman murdered her children and then herself on that bed. Somewhere around 1987, the house was purchased and moved about a mile away, and the renovation began. Shortly therefore, the house was burned down. When it was moved to, there was a front page picture in Turlock Journal that mentioned something along the line of legendary haunted house moved to new location. Hello, witches and norms. Welcome to WitchDarkTales podcast. We're your host, I'm Moon Witch.
Miguel.
And on today's podcast, we're going to be talking about mermaid dinner parties and also responding to TikTok comments about haunted places in California, such as
Turlock California.
Patterson, California.
And Banos California.
Now, before we get straight into the podcast, views discretion is advised, and for all you audio listeners, advises as well. But with that being said, let's get straight into this podcast. Ooh, y'all not ready. Y'all not ready. Because I'm excited to talk about the mermaid dinner party. We just found out it's
crazy.
Let's get straight into it. I saw this video, right? And everyone's talking about it on TikTok where they're having mermaid dinner parties.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
So I guess this guy was saying how... So this user said someone sent him an email and said he knew how a mermaid tastes like. And now the story goes, he paid $50,000 and then they came and picked him up in a black limo. And when they came to pick him up in a black limo, the people that picked him up was wearing a masquerade mask. They took him to the house. It's like secluded, you know, like somewhere where you can't be found or seen.
Yeah.
And when he showed up, he said he saw the mermaid laying on top of ice.
Wow.
And here's the crazy part. He described every detail from human-like topping, like on top, and then the ribs and everything. And then when it got down to the leg, there was no leg. It was all blue and green scales, like, and the tail of a fish. Like how mermaids look like.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I started to think, I'm like, what the heck? People really pay for these mermaid dinner parties?
That's what I say too.
But it got me thinking. Mermaids aren't real. From the research that I've done, obviously throughout my time, was that mermaids was just a Norse, I think it's called Norse, Norse mythology, or Greek mythology, and, you know, other mythologies, sirens, right? But then we found one in Fresno.
Really?
Yes. Well, Fresno found their own mermaid.
Fresno?
And you guys, this is a true story. It was all over the news. So if you're from Fresno, listen to this. Now, on April 6, 2017, it says right here, the Fresno County Sheriff Office in California has identified a woman found on Tuesday walking in the middle of Militan Road in Fresno, California, near the entrance to the lake just outside the town of Friant. Investigators said she claimed to be a mermaid and goes by the name Joanna.
Joanna.
Detectives said after a diver found her walking on the road, she was taken to a hospital for evaluation. They said they were unable to learn her name or find out who her family members are because she was not giving them clear answers when they asked her. Right? Well, we went live on TikTok last Thursday. That's how I found out the story. We have this podcast on TikTok Live where we sit down and talk about haunted places and, you know, things about Fresno. And they told me a story, and that's when I knew about this. So the story that I heard from them was this lady was coming out of the water and people was driving by and cars saw her.
Wow.
So they called 911 and everything, right? So obviously the police came down and tried to, like, who are you? Whatever. Mind you, she was butt naked. And then she had webbed toes and fingers.
That's crazy.
But here's more to the story. They took her down for, like how the news reporter said, for evaluation, but the case went cold.
So nothing more?
Yeah, I've never heard about it. And I have a theory. This is just alleged. I have a theory that they either locked her up, put her somewhere, or the government came and took her and whatever they did to her. But the reason why I think that was because the news article thing, it says the sheriff department stated it is making an arrangement for relatives to reunite with the woman. Anyone with information about this case is being asked to call the sheriff office. And I brought that up was because I think they put that out because for whoever saw the woman, whoever talked to her, whoever made contact with her, the officers wanted them to contact them because I think they wanted to hush them up, as in like, since you saw it, since you saw that lady coming out of the water, since you saw her looking like a mermaid, we don't want people to know about this, so we want you to come to the office. We're going to pretend that we're giving you money or more information, but we're actually going to you.
Wow.
Allegedly. I'm just, it's a theory. It's not real. It's not real.
Oh, maybe it goes back to the dinner party when she was sent.
Yeah.
To go,
Oh my God. What if she escaped from the dinner party? I'm sorry, mermaid dinner party. But that's just all alleged, Yeah, did you ever hear about anything else besides that?
Yeah, actually, the famous Mexican artist Cantiflas?
No.
So, Cantiflas is a famous Mexican artist. He played, usually black and white videos between I believe the 30s, the 90s. He has spoke that he has an obsession with mermaids. And he actually built a house specifically for mermaids. So he does these rituals where he built a statue of himself in the ocean, well, close to the house, facing the sea. And every time around 3 a.m. in the morning, he does his rituals where he usually waits there and see if he can get a mermaid to come. And he is claimed that he's seen a couple of them.
What the heck? That's crazy. I believe that. I believe mermaids are real now at this point. And the fact that he built a house for them, close to the ocean shore, that is crazy.
Yeah, and then, so he said that he has hosted parties there too at his house. So I'm guessing, he could probably go back to the dinner parties when he had those dinner parties when the mermaids came in. It was a way to get them to come. That's crazy, no?
I'm shook. Oh my God, poor mermaids. Look, I don't care. Oh no, but then we do consume beef and
animals, yeah.
But I don't know what to say. I feel like a hypocrite.
For me, my thought of mermaids was, if there was a real life mermaid, it would just be like, us seeing them, and maybe people, like I guess the Little Mermaid falling in love with them. But I never, in my mind, thought like people would actually want to eat them.
What do you think it tastes like? I don't even want to imagine. I don't want to imagine.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's like sushi, right? I'm pretty sure fish. But what about the upper body of the human?
Maybe it's fish-like too.
Wait, is this considered cannibalism? Because technically they're similar to a human.
But if it has like fish, fish-like body, maybe not.
I don't know because I don't want to bring religion into this, but technically they're fallen angels. So the Book of Enoch stated that the human made it with a fallen angel, and then that's how Nephilims came to be. If y'all know, y'all know. So for me, I think I don't know if they made it with a creature. Again, I don't know. But somehow the sirens or the mermaid came to be, right? Technically, they have human DNA or God, angel's DNA too. So I don't think nothing should be consumed.
True.
Because that's technically eating. I don't want to say eat, but you're eating your own kind.
Yeah.
Cannibalism.
Pretty much.
That's
crazy.
So drop down a comment, let us know. Did you guys ever hear about the mermaid dinner party that's going on virally all over TikTok? And also, if you're from Fresno, drop down a comment, let us know. Did you ever hear about the mermaid they found at Militant Lake here in Fresno, California? But let's move on to our next story. Ursula! Here. Now that we got the dinner mermaid party out of the way, let's talk about some haunted places here in California. And we're going to be responding to TikTok comment. You want to go first? Yeah, you go first. 'Cause
Okay, I'll go first.
I'm so shocked about the mermaid thingy.
This comment is from a user who asked, "Can you please do Patterson, California?" And this is what we have found about that place. So there's a story saying, "My wife frequently sees things from very large shadow figures that appear to look like a giant shadow, crossing the fields to shadow people pacing around our house. Two demonic-looking creatures sitting along our fence line. One she recently witnessed along Highway 33 coming from Newman heading to Patterson Walmart. So she told me about what looked like a very skinny woman standing on her tiptoes leaning out the pointing across the road. She appeared to be wearing a torn black Victorian dress and as if she could have been hitchhiking." Well, this is another story
Ooh,
that somebody else wrote from Patterson, California.
ooh.
hmm So he says, "I used to live in Magnolia Elm by the river in 1990. I would ride my bike and skateboard home many nights. I felt a lot and heard a lot of voices by the river. It felt very uncomfortable to sleep and I would fish at night alone. I and many others lost multiple friends to car accidents at Highway 33. He feels like that negative energy is not there anymore."
Yeah, that's crazy. And this is both places in Patterson, California, are called Highway 33 that they
Highway
witnessed.
33.
So if you guys ever been to Highway 33 and you're from Patterson, California, drop down a comment and let us know.
So it says that, supposedly in Patterson, California, there's actually a lot of paranormal activities going out there. And there's a connection line that, get this, two places called Mount Diablo and Del Puerto Canyon.
Doesn't Puerto Canyon, well, the Puerto part means door, no? ¿Verdad?
Technically, Puerta means door, but
Pero,
they just change the word.
wait. Devil Mountain and the door? The door's mountain at that point.
And it's known for a lot of demonic and shadow things happening in that area. But this could date back to, Native Americans. I guess there was a lot of ancient influences with that.
Our previous podcast, everything will be linked in the description box below, including the stories and research that we've done. I think, like, from what I remember I said was, we technically, well, not just in Fresno, but also within California. Again, this is all alleged. We are basically built over a native burial ground that is sacred to the Native Americans.
I believe that.
I believe that too. And also, I really do believe that because of things that happened when their land was taken, certain ways, I do believe that the Native American either was like, curse, y'all gonna take our land, y'all curse. And whoever lived here now is living with the consequences. Again, I'm pretty sure it's not true, but we're just gonna,
Pretty much.
but it makes sense to me. I don't know about y'all.
So for that user, Patterson, California, here's a few stories that we got for you.
Yes. So thank you for leaving the comment, by the way. Well, if you're from Patterson, California, drop down a comment and let us know. Do you believe that Highway 33 is haunted? And also the fact that we found out about Mount Diablo and El Porto
Del Puerta.
de Porta door mountain. It's haunted. It's haunted. It's haunted. Yeah, already. It cursed me right now. Not gonna win. Responding to our next TikTok comment, the user writes, "Do Los Banos, California. The story is about a street called Vermont. Someone wrote, I used to live in a house in Los Banos on Vermont Street. It first appeared as a green orb. It said its name was Rodney. This was figured out by going through the alphabet. And every time we got to a correct letter in its name, the green orb would move to my brother's hand. To make a long story shorter, a lot of scary paranormal things happened in this house. It went on for several months, maybe a year. Things would get thrown around. There were also scratching on the walls, bed shaking, and the radio station flipping around by itself. The TV channels would flip on their own. An acoustic guitar was playing by itself. At night, you can hear male and females voice arguing outside, but you could never make it out. I could go on for days with so many things that went on there. Eventually, we had spiritual walkers come into our home to help us. However, several months later, the house was sold sometime later. I always get creeped out whenever I drive by that old house and wonder if anything is still there.
Wow.
Look, I'm going to give y'all some information, okay? I'm going to put it right here on the screen somewhere. It said right here, and I kid you not. I kid you not. It said right here, the name was Rodney. Not Rodney, Rodney. So the fact that it spelled itself out, Rodoney. Yeah, it's a spirit. Ain't no spirit gonna move no damn green orb to spell its name out like that. It said, no, girl, my name is Rodney. And it said, orb.
Damn.
What did you think about that?
Rodney. Crazy. Rodney. Well, my first thought was are they playing the Ouija board or something?
Oh my god, yeah. But they didn't say it in a story.
No.
And again, this is just a story that we researched. That is crazy. And that is the story of Los Banos Haunted House on Vermont Street. So if you guys are from Los Banos, drop down a comment and let us know. Haunted places in California, it be getting real sometimes. It be really getting real.
True that.
Hey, user right, is there any haunted places in Turlock, California? Well, we got you. There's a house called the Hell House in Turlock.
Hell House?
Yeah. In the 1980s, there was an old board-up 2-story farmhouse on the south side of West Tulumani Road between North Tully and US 99. This was before the days of Walmart, Target, and Oak Park apartments. Thus, West Tulumani Road was still a lonely country road where high school kids went to go drink, make out, spin donuts in their cars at the dead end near the freeway. The creepy looking house nicknamed Hell House sat boarded up about 40 yards off the road behind a fence. Mm-hmm. On weekends, a high school kid would dare each other to run up to the porch or even try to get inside. The interior was most empty except for trash left by random trespassers. The stairway was located inside a narrow door and wound up its way upstairs, where the only piece of furniture was a heavy wrought bed that appeared to be bloodstained on the mattress.
Wow.
The legend says that a woman murdered her children and then herself on that bed. Somewhere around 1987, the house was purchased and moved about a mile away, and the renovation began. Shortly therefore, the house was burned down. When it was moved to, there was a front page picture in Turlock Journal that mentioned something along the line of legendary haunted house moved to new location. The house was built in 1913 by a ship captain named Banos, who used the wood from an old ship for construction.
Wow.
And they called it the Hell House. Bruh, if you call a house the Hell House,
it's definitely haunted.
It's definitely haunted.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing. In Fresno, California, we have a haunted house also called, well, we have many. Oh my God, that's crazy. But this one is called Tyler Perry. This one's called the Tyler House. So the story was, people will see people that live in that house. The house had 22 owners. And it never lasted. Something always happened to people that lived in that house. One story was that they will find dead cats in the attic. Mm. And then they seen shadow people moving through the hallways. And also, whenever you look through a closet door, you will see red eyes staring back at you. And again, this is just an urban legend, but people that live there claim that this is true. If you go to that house now, oh, I can't even tell you to go to the house, but that's not the point. The house was burnt down. They basically saved the top half because it used to be a 2-story. Mm. So they saved the top half that was not burnt, which again, I don't know how that works. Do your own research because but the bottom of the house was like messed up. So they saved the top half and they put it on the floor.
Wow.
Yeah, I know it make no sense, but that's from what I read. But that's the Tyler House on Fresno, California.
Where the top half was a haunted place.
And they kept that one?
It saved itself, more like it.
Oh my God.
Think that's possible?
Yeah, I believe that's possible. Oh, drop down a comment, let us know, you guys. So if you guys are from, where is that? I was going to say Tulumani. So you guys are from Turlock, California. Drop down a comment. Let us know. Do you believe that the Hell House in Turlock, California is haunted? Or was this just another urban legend there? Let us know. Let us know. Tobias? We talked about mermaid dinner parties. We talked about haunted places in California, such as Patterson, California, and then Turlock, and also Los Banos.
It's a lot of scary stuff happening.
Dude, keep these comments coming, y'all, because, well, on TikTok, on YouTube, we're barely getting there. But when we discovered haunted places here in Fresno, I would never imagine we're able to reach out to other people who have the same experience, who knows about haunted places, who knows these urban legends as much as we do in our town. So before we end the podcast, what did you learn about today within this podcast?
Too many scary stuff happening. I'm still surprised about the mermaid parties.
Me too. The mermaid dinner parties, that's crazy. And then for me, look, if you've seen that movie, The Deliverance, if you've seen that movie, you know about haunted house. And whether you believe it or not, when you experience these hauntings, you will never judge the next person again because you went through that shit. So I'm just going to say this. When someone tells me a haunted place or a haunted story, I will never sit there and be like, you lying. I have an open mind. I'm more of like, I bet you that happened to you. I bet you that did happen to your ass. I bet you. You know? Well, thank you guys for listening and watching. And for audio, it's going to be every Monday. And for visual, will be every Sunday. But with that being said, thank you guys for listening and watching to the WitchDarkTales podcast. And we'll see you next week. Bye. Pussy. No lie. I wonder how the mermaid tastes like sushi, huh?
I'm guessing like sushi.